Hi there, Facebook land. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim.
We're from A Teague of Your Own. And it's another Motivational Monday.
Yay, Motivational Monday.
Hooray!
Woo! Let's get motivated.
Let's.
As opposed to let's get eliminated.
That's a good show.
Yeah,
It hasn't been on in a while.
I know. I loved MXC.
Yeah.
But,
Takes me back to our days in Tallahassee.
Yep. But instead of that, let's get motivated.
Yeah.
Yay, motivated.
So today we're going to talk about something that happened very recently.
Right. We were going to do a multi-parter about finding your why.
Right.
But sometimes the best laid plans change. And we had something that happened, well, over the weekend, I guess at the end of last week, that we felt like we needed to share.
Yes.
Just because it was so interesting. We had gone away for a short trip. Unfortunately, with things that are going on right now, can't really take a long vacation.
No.
It's tough to do that, and we haven't been able to do that. So we were gone for about 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, we had noticed that we had some guests hanging around our house. Yes. But one of those guests, while we were gone, decided that she was going to make herself even more of a presence in our home. Mm-hmm. And what we found, or what did we find?
We found a rabbit in our front yard. The fenced-in front yard.
Yes. And yeah, she was one of a pair of rabbits that hangs around near our house and down the hill. And we assumed that she was expecting.
Yes, because she's a bunny rabbit.
She's a bunny rabbit.
And when there's two bunny rabbits together, you kind of expect.
And she decided that our yard was where she was going to have her babies. So when we got back, our daughter had told us that this rabbit was in the yard, and she tried to shush it out of the yard. And she did get it out of the yard, but when we got back, the rabbit was in the yard.
Yes.
So I chased her out of the yard, even though it was difficult. She didn't want to go.
No.
And shortly after I went back inside, she came back in the yard. So the next time I got her to get out of the yard, and I took some cardboard and put it by the fence, trying to keep her out. And she went right around that and got back in the yard. So I got her out one more time, placed the cardboard again in another configuration, hoping that would keep her out, and went out just a little while later, and she was laying down on the ground in the yard. And so I went one more time to get her to move, and when she moved, what did we find?
Bunnies.
Baby bunnies. She had just had them. At that point, I gave up.
You can't move her then.
Can't move her at that point. So we decided, okay, here you are. What was interesting is the lessons that we learned through this process. Relates to some of the things we've already been talking about in some of our earlier, what do you call these episodes? I don't know what you call them.
Facebook Lives.
Our earlier Facebook Lives. So what did we learn from this rabbit? Well, 3 things that are extremely important, and the 2 things we've talked about before. One, obviously, determination.
Yes.
She had decided that she was going to have those babies in our yard, and she was determined to make that happen.
Very.
And she did.
She did.
Persistence. Kept shushing her out of the yard.
She kept coming back.
And it was hard to get her out.
Yeah.
Usually rabbits will scatter, and she was standing her ground, which taught us that 3rd lesson. And I think this is another important lesson. If you're going to succeed, you're going to follow your passions, you're going to follow your dreams, and that's to be fearless. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. This rabbit was just, she wasn't afraid of us.
She's not.
She's not afraid.
And not just us.
Yeah.
She's not afraid of the dogs.
She's not afraid of the dogs, which is amazing.
And one of Molly, you guys have met Molly.
Yes.
She needs to be afraid of Molly.
Yes, Molly she needs to be afraid of. Molly, well,
Molly likes to play with animals.
Yeah, well, she likes to eat animals,
She likes to toss them
toss them
around
around, and have some fun with them.
yeah.
And yes, if you don't stop her, she will take care of them.
And now Molly and Herb do not have access to their front yard.
Right. That's because the rabbit is out there. So we left her there, and she had her
babies.
Her brood of babies. I don't know what you call a group of baby rabbits. I know what you call individual baby rabbits. I've learned some stuff through this process. Baby rabbits are called kits.
Mm-hmm.
And rabbits actually have their kits in nests, which is interesting. I didn't know what they were called. I had to look this stuff up. So yes, they're called nests.
They like to have them in open areas.
And they like to have them. Well, sometimes they'll put them by bushes or trees, but they'll quite often put them in open areas, with the idea being that any predators would be afraid to go there because they would be open and exposed. We've also found out that mama rabbits leave the babies alone most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
They will come around and feed them after dark, and so we've been on the watch to see the rabbit out there.
Yeah.
But we decided to leave her alone. She has the babies, and because of that, we decided that we needed to name her.
Yes, since she's going to be a guest of ours.
Since she's part of the family now.
For the next few weeks.
Yes.
Until the babies are old enough to go out on their own, she will be living in our yard.
Yeah, until our grand rabbits are ready to
Yes,
go.
and this is the second time we've had this happen.
Yes, it's happened to us before.
In our old house, we had it happen. Actually, it was right after we got Molly.
Yeah, it wasn't that long after we got Molly.
And back then, Molly wasn't much bigger than the rabbits themselves.
That's true.
So for her, it was easy to keep her away from them, but it wasn't so easy to keep Herb and Mike.
Yeah, our big boys, our greyhounds.
So
because greyhounds are bred to chase rabbits.
Yes, and the good news is at that house and in that yard where the rabbits decided to nest, it was easy enough for us to actually put a temporary fence up so that we could keep the dogs away from the bunny rabbits, and life went on.
Right, when they grew up, got big enough, they left, and that was the end of that.
This time, not so much.
Yeah, she built her
Literally
nest in the middle, almost smack dab in the middle of the yard.
So we can't.
And so the nest is there. So we decided to name her.
Yes.
And it was an interesting discussion because I told Michelle, I said, we need to name the rabbit. And I said,
obviously it's a female.
Yeah, let's think about this. It's female. And I said, so let's think about a woman in history who was just defiant, because she was defiant. She was not going to leave. Didn't matter what I did. She wasn't leaving. When she did, she came right back. A woman who was defiant, stood her ground, wasn't going to take no for an answer, and was going to defy the man. And at the same time, we both said Rosa Parks. So
our rabbit's name is.
Yeah, we have a Rosa. We have a rabbit named Rosa in our yard. And then just to make up a name for her boyfriend, I just started calling him Billy Bob.
We don't know if it's a boyfriend or a husband.
Well, I don't know what rabbits do, whatever it is. It doesn't matter to me. But his name is Billy Bob. And that's just because I like Billy Bob Thornton. She doesn't like him, but I think he's a great actor. So if any of you know Billy Bob, let him know. I said so. Tell him I said hi. So we now have a rabbit in our yard named Rosa. But the story doesn't end there. No, amazingly enough, it does not end there. So that was on Friday. And then on Saturday, I went out front to take a peek, and there were two of the babies that were not in the nest.
Nope.
And they were together in another spot. And we don't know how many she actually had.
No.
We did not know. We still don't.
We know she had 3.
We know there were at least 3. There possibly are more. Yeah. But there were 2, and they were there in a little very shallow hole. And I didn't know what was going on there, so I left them alone, and I decided to go back out again a little bit later to check, and they were moving around and squiggling around, and they had separated from each other, and it was obvious that they were looking for something. And I realized that where Rosa had started out was not where she made her nest. She dug a different one, the one where it is now, and I figured out that these babies, I don't know if she pulled them out or what happened, but they were out there and they were exposed. And so I went and did a little research to make sure, because you always hear the myth, and it is a myth, that once a baby gets the human scent on it, that the mother will abandon it. Yeah, mother will reject it. That's not true. That's not true.
Especially with rabbits who decide to live in your front yard.
Right, because they're used to our smell. They obviously she's in our yard, so she would smell us. Yeah. And so I went out there and found her new nest, and I picked up the babies and I put them in the nest. And it was interesting because they're so small, they're so tiny, and just picking up those little lives. It's amazing. It's amazing thinking how, one, I was helping them because they're as far as I can tell, they're alive and well.
Yep.
She's been back. She's feeding them, and they're growing. So I haven't seen any others out in the yard. So I don't think she rejected them or took them out. But just to have this little, these little 1-day-old rabbits in your hand,
tiny little things.
They're so tiny, and it was amazing. It's you realize how precious life is. And then to be able to experience something like that, because I know that most people will never be able to do that. And so it's picking them up, and they were so tiny, and I put them back in there in the nest. And I could tell, especially with the first one, as soon as I put it back in there, it was almost like that was exactly what it was looking for, was the nest. And it could tell, it sensed that the siblings were there, and I could tell that was, it was, I guess, as happy as a 1-day-old rabbit can be.
Yep.
And then I picked up the second one. The second was a little trickier to pick up. First one was easy, scooped it right up. Second one was a little trickier, but I got it in my hand, and then took it over there and put it in the hole, and then covered it back up. And so we've been checking out on them periodically, and it's it's a neat thing. The mother puts them up under all of this grass.
Yeah,
and so
it's a lot of grass.
Right, it's a lot of grass. And if you don't know it's there, you wouldn't know. It's great camouflage until it moves.
We actually had somebody come out, and they were trimming trees and removing trees and all kinds of stuff today in the yard, and we had to let them know you can't go in the front yard.
Yeah. Well, they could. They had to, but had to mark it and show them, here's the rabbit's nest. Please don't disturb this.
So, and at first they thought we were...
They thought we're nuts.
After they had finished with all the work and stuff, we were out in front, and we were checking, and the nest was fine, and the guy came in, Travis.
Yeah, Travis. Stockton Tree Service. If you need tree removed, call Stockton Tree Service. Yes, they did a great job for us.
Travis comes out, and he's just like, "Oh, is that the way they are?" And I'm like, "Yeah, watch this." And I started to move it, and just like, "Yeah, we would be." So I left it be, and then all of a sudden you see this grass
just moving around,
and he's like, "Whoa!"
It's a neat thing when you see it, because they're in there and they're squiggling around, and the bigger they get, the more that grass will jump. Especially when you disturb them a little bit and they think mama's about to come feed them.
So we know it won't be long before they outgrow that hole. And then it's a matter of they'll be all over the yard. And
we'll have bunnies all over the place. It's kind of like when we have birds in our old house. We used to get birds all the time. And when the babies would finally leave the nest, I would always tell Michelle that the trees are full. Trees are full because the babies are gone.
Yes.
And it's always sad when they go, but it's happy because it's time for them to go. Yeah. So the bunnies will go. We're gonna have to deal with this for about 3 weeks, and so our lawn out front is gonna look terrible. That's okay.
I feel sorry for our neighbors.
Yeah, they're gonna hate us as far as that's concerned. But if they ask, we'll tell them. That's because there's baby bunnies there. But we'll have bunnies running around all over the place here, and it'll be
for the next few weeks.
It'll be fun when the little ones are ready to go.
Yeah.
So
it'll be wonderful.
Yes.
Then the dogs get their yard back.
The dogs get the yard back when the little ones go.
Walk them.
So, but it's a neat experience, and like I said, we learned some lessons from watching Rosa. She's been amazing so far. And who knows, we may learn some more lessons from her before we're done. Sometimes you learn your lessons, or you have lessons reinforced, ideas reinforced from places that you never, ever expected to see it.
Yeah.
And so that's why, it's a big, beautiful world. Look for these things.
We need to take notes when she kicks the bunnies out.
Yes, because then we can figure out how to kick our bunny out. Even though But she's doing some interesting things. So
Yes.
yeah, she's gonna start some new stuff.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about it here.
No.
At least not now. Maybe later.
But yes, so for Motivational Monday, we thought we would share with you, the story of Rosa.
It's the story of Rosa and the lessons we learned. Determination, persistence, and being fearless. Boy, is she fearless.
She is.
Stunning.
Just scary.
Yeah, it's scary. I was afraid she's going to bite me.
I'm not afraid she's going to bite me. What I'm afraid of is one day the dogs will get too close to her.
Well, Katie said Molly was about 2 inches away from her, and Rosa didn't seem to care.
She didn't care.
She was standing her ground.
Yep. All right. So, what if people want to get in contact with us?
If they want to get in contact with us, there's several different ways you can do that. Obviously through Facebook, and please like us on Facebook. Share,
follow us.
Yeah, follow us. Share these videos. We don't mind if you send them out to other people.
It's good.
And spread it around, and hopefully people enjoy what they hear, what they see.
Yeah.
We try to share these messages and be semi-entertaining as much as possible, I suppose. So Facebook, we're on LinkedIn as well.
We are, yeah.
And then our website, ateagueofyourown.com, and you can email us.
And just go to ateagueofyourown.com.
Yeah,
There's a spot in
you
there.
put it in
You
there,
have to
yeah.
contact us, and you can email us. And
Yeah, and
all
when we've
kinds
got
of stuff.
new things going on, we've got some exciting stuff coming up. So, when we have things going on, new stuff happening, we'll let you know.
If any of you are interested in attending free lunch and learns,
Yes.
Let us know, because we're putting them together. We're offering one every month through Workforce Development at Westmoreland County Community College. But we can also actually do one at your business.
Your business or your organization. We do it not only for businesses, but also for, if you're in Rotary or Lions Club or
So for your
anything like that. Let us know. We'll come in and we'll speak. We'll do a 45-minute presentation.
And we can do it on leadership. We can do it on communication.
And
whatever works for you.
We can do them in person. We can do them remotely.
Yes.
In person, within reason. It depends on where you live, because we're doing these for free. If you're too far away, then they'll be remote. Most of them are remote these days because we're all still living under the shadow of the bug.
Yeah.
And
It's okay.
yeah, it's we'll get through it. It's life.
It is.
It's life. You learn to do. These are the challenges, the obstacles you learn to overcome. We're going to talk more about that later too.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. So I guess until next Motivational Monday.
Yeah, next week.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
And is that when we're going to start our?
Possibly. We'll try.
We'll try.
It depends, unless we get inspired by something else.
Unless Billy Bob does
Unless
something.
Billy Bob does something amazing, who knows? But otherwise, we'll try to start our series on your why.
Your why.
Finding your
Start with
why. Yeah, start with your why.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
we're good.
All right.
All right.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Bye, Facebook land.
Bye, everybody.
See you
Have a
later.
good week.